cover, again, will give you kind of an overview in a brief, concise way, what your bins will be for the unit, the kinds of work you'll be doing with your mini lessons. It gives you just an overview of a conferencing or small group work, your mid-workshop teaching point, and the share. And like we talked about yesterday, the share can be flexible. I mean, you really want it to be meaningful to your students. So if you see something that you've been working on or that you would like for more of your students to do, and you found someone doing that and you want to stop and praise that work or that student for what they're doing because you feel like maybe you'll bring some more kids into that, then by all means do that as your share. I think in the beginning, just praising them for the little things that you see that even it could be the routines of, Chris, she finished a book or she finished her writing piece. She didn't just stop. No, she went and got more paper and she started a new story. So at the beginning, you might want to, how many of you did that? Who else did that? Raise your hand. Pat yourself on the back. There are different pieces you might want to re-emphasize, within the share, because that's kind of what it's all about, is just praising and highlighting students' work and what they're doing in the classroom. Okay, so then, of course, you have your table of contents that goes through your bins. And what I really wanted you to look at today was also the back cover in your writing. The reading does not have this in the back cover. I think Kay mentioned yesterday when she was going through the online resources. For reading, this piece is in the online resources, but for writing, they included it in the books. And basically, this is your Common Core state standards that are aligning with your unit. So you can, if anybody asks, are you teaching Common Core, you will look at this and say, absolutely, every day I'm teaching Common Core. So it tells you what your session is, what you're writing, and making standards, how you get those, even your listening and speaking. Where is that?
They may have taken it out of the new one.
They did? It's not on your back cover? No.
They'll be in the online resources for sure.
Yeah, it's in the online resources.
I think that was a publishing decision because kind of is like, the Common Core standards are very controversial and some states haven't adopted them and they may go away, they may not. So let's not put them in the book and just put them online.
But they did include them, and they have done the research to see how they are aligned to what your curriculum is. So just for your peace of mind, and if anyone ever challenges you on that, you'll know that they are Common Core aligned. Okay, I would like for you to go back to that front cover, and I hope that yours is the same as mine. Look to see down towards the end of your sessions. In my book, towards session 19 and 20, talks about celebration. So turn to that session, and I want you to read a little bit about the celebrations, and then we're going to talk about those. Mine has a letter to the teacher that talks about getting ready for the celebration and the grand finale of the celebration. Those are actually the last two sessions. Is there anyone that doesn't have something about celebrations? Okay, just take a minute to kind of read through that letter about celebrations. And we talked about, that sometimes they might need a little bit of motivation to go ahead and finish and polish a piece. And that knowing that they're going to have an audience helps them kind of push through that revising and editing and polishing up something to get it to that finished product. Knowing that your mom and dad are going to come in and see what you're writing about in school can be very motivating for a lot of kids and can make them feel proud of themselves. So to me, not having a celebration at the end of the unit is sort of like not having cake cake on your birthday. You know, it's sort of like I've worked so hard all year long, and I've aged a whole nother year. By golly, I'm going to have a piece of cake. You know, so it's sort of like just. I wanted to ask the other support staff too, because we're all in different buildings. That's okay. We're all in different buildings, and so the teachers have gotten really creative about the kinds of celebrations they have. So I wanted to just share a couple of those that come to mind. Also, if you, Kay's going to talk about Teachers College Facebook page and some other, social media things. A lot of people post ideas on there. So, if you decide to follow that, you'll get some great ideas from the social media parts of what they're doing for fun. And people are being very creative with it. Like second grade at Wilson, I know, does a poetry unit. So they have a poetry slam day, and they kind of create a stage. They have this, something like this, but it's got curtains on it. And they'll kind of make it so the kids stand up, with a little microphone, and they read their poems, and parents come in, and they all just take turns. And of course, they'll have some little refreshments, or make it, some kind of food or something. Did you do any celebrations at the Laughlin?
I was there for one, and then all of the second graders met in the cafeteria. It was for a reading celebration.
Okay.
And they all sat across from each other and kind of just sat and reading and talked about their books.
And shared in small groups. So, Laura, do you have any other ideas about your school?
They have kids standing at the door and a little pretty table and usually parents were invited and they came in and went around and listened to the kids read. Or another time kids sat in groups of 5 or so, like the books and desks, and took turns reading their work. That was writing celebration. That was a better time.
And of course, you can have celebrations with you too. We can talk about that. But,
We talked about the hot chocolate one, that was so cute. Let's talk about that.
That was another one from second grade.
okay, tell us about that.
Yeah, I think it was along the lines, I think it was about the time they did their poetry dinner. They had, every kid brought in their own mug, and they made hot chocolate, and then they shared their writing it with the class. So it's kind of formal, I think they but they just kind of cozy. For days, I worked with special ed kids, for days, these kids who were not always motivated, talked about what mug they were bringing and what they were reading to the class. And it was amazing to see them up to.
Can I just add something? That is all adding to the culture of your classroom. All of that. You're showing your kids this, we're taking time to celebrate. I am so proud of what you've been doing, and all of that adds to your classroom.
Erica, do you remember any celebrations from Sarah's class?
We often went down to one of the kindergarten rooms across the hall. And then we hear them out with kindergartners, and they would read their work and then kind of prepare them for first grade.
Like a run through, okay.
How much you're writing goes from kindergarten to the end of first grade. And they love that. We're always excited.
I do remember too, Wilson, kindergartners partnering up with third graders. I happened to be there the day. It was like the kindergartners' 100th day of school, and it wasn't necessarily a writing celebration, but they incorporated reading. And the kindergartners took all of their books to the third grade classroom and had third grade buddies. And I swear to you, it was one of the most magical things I've ever seen as a teacher, because those third graders were so supportive and encouraging, and the kindergartners, of course, felt very, very proud. Like, they were just beaming because they could actually read a book. In kindergarten, that's a big thing. And I even had some of the third graders say, they looked at me and said, wow, I could never read like that when I was a kindergartner. They kind of patted the little kindergartner on the back, and of course, made them just feel like they were, high line. But it was really neat to see how sweet and supportive were encouraging and positive, and then, you know, that just really was keep the runners up. So I had to share that too. Anybody else have any?
I was going to share, Lincoln has gotten very creative, and maybe Alyssa can share a little bit about first grade celebrations, but third grade did fairy tales. They do a unit, I don't know if you, Kaylee, were you second or third? I can't remember.
I think it's second.
Second, okay. Third grade does country studies, and they do fairy tales, and they write their own fairy tale. And so Larissa, the kids wanted to turn their room into like a kingdom, and they built a castle in the middle. I mean, it was all paper, and it was very kid-driven, you know. I mean, it was, she's really big and letting her kids just go for it. Very laid back, and you took a tour around their kingdom, and they shared their version of their fairy tales, and that was really cool. When they did their animal research writing unit, they had a guest at the door or a student at the door who met the guests, and then you'd come in to the classroom and go around, and they had signs advertising their animal they researched. And a couple of the kids, they did sharks, and so they took their desks and put them together and put a blanket over it, and you had to crawl in like you were going under the ocean. And they had a flashlight, and they shared their research. So, you know, you can let the kids really get creative and get, you know, they get each other motivated. I think the first thing they think about when they start their unit is, how are we going to do our celebration? So it is really motivating. Poetry and popcorn. You know, they had just an hour of the day. It was nothing fancy, but parents could come in. They
You
had
don't have to go all
popcorn.
out for every single
Right.
celebration, but you know, it could be a bring your own snack day, and we're gonna sit in a beanbag chair and read with a buddy or share our stories with each other. Or it could be, you know, like they go to the author's chair while everybody gets to have a snack and listen to them. You can really do a lot of different things.
It also encourages kids to participate, because a lot of teachers say, you know, I can't get my child to write anything, this boy won't write anything. And it encourages them to participate, because they think, well, wait, what am I going to share when we have our celebration? For the celebration coming, I better write something too. So I said it establishes culture in the classroom, and that's also important. If I want to be a part of that, it encourages kids to participate also.
Put your heads together, you know, with your coworkers, and you can ask kids input, and not be surprised at what they come up with, I'm sure, but ultimately, you know, you got the final decision, but sometimes it's nice to let them have a say, if they want to do something.
My niece's class actually had a book day, so they published their books.
Oh,
And then
neat.
invited their friends and family in to buy their books. And then I think they bought
That is a
books for
good
their
idea.
classroom library with the money they raised.
Also, I don't know if they still do this, but if for something like that, where you want it to be a little more substantial, we used to have a company that had just plain white hardcover books. So, you know, you decorate the cover, you can put your paper and your story inside, and it is like a hardbound book. And we had this for a while. I don't remember. Do you know where we got those
I think
books?
the resources for you.
And bear books, they're called bear books, B-A-R-E. I think if you Google that, you can find it. Larissa Whitney also, she took one of her units, I don't remember which one it was, but she just had them each submit their story from that unit, and she sent all their stories into a company and published them in one book. Do you know what that's called? It was a collection
We
of
have
books.
two classes do it this year. And Katrin did it. Yeah, but I don't remember the company's name. Katrin.
And I think the parents had the option to buy a book.
And I think you can buy hardback or paperback.
Yes, and so I think she got everybody, I think she bought everybody one. Larissa might have used classroom money, but the parents could then buy additional ones if
And
they
it's
wanted.
neat to see their illustrations.
They're so colorful.
I think that's all I have is just the important make sure you plan a celebration, because like I said, if you're noticing your kids aren't motivated, the share and the celebrations will definitely increase that motivation and keep them going along that path. So I wanted to make sure to talk about that for a minute. Sure.
Okay. And we're going to do chapter 8. Differentiated feedback, which is conferring. Word about that. I'm going to read a little bit. You're going to read this too later, but I'm going to read this so we can talk about it a little bit. If learners receive feedback that contains both acknowledgement of what that learner has begun to do that really works and suggestions for next steps toward an ambitious but accessible goal, then learners progress in dramatic ways. I was thinking about this. Conferring seems like a really steep task for you, maybe as new people. And I was thinking, well, what makes it seem so hard? And I was thinking about this last night. I think what makes it feel so hard is that we're relying on teachers to have all of this knowledge up here. You're supposed to look at a child's paper and go, oh, I know exactly what to teach them. Like, we're expecting you to have all this knowledge up here, and you're thinking, that's too hard. I don't have everything up here that I need. Maybe it's my first year. Maybe I'm just starting. Even you've taught 10 years, and you think, I don't know everything. I mean, none of us do. None of us know everything to teach. So the good thing is you have help with this. You have checklists you can look at. You have learning progressions you can look at, and I think Amy's going to show them more
We're going to
later.
spend a lot of time on that.
We're going to talk about that more later. And you have, best of all, remember we talked about, and Best City people weren't here for that, but this is professional development in a box. In Texas, they were even using this for pre-service teachers. It's professional development in a box. So even if you wanted to read those units of study and you wanted to not learn, you couldn't help but learn. You cannot help but learn. If you read these lessons you're teaching to your kids, you can't even help but learn. So that is also making your knowledge grow and help you think about what to confer about. Each lesson that you're reading to teach, you're learning it, it's up here, and then it helps you know what to confer about. I was thinking, what makes that so hard? That's probably what it is. So experience, time, reading the lessons, that checklist, learning progressions. If you need for a while to pick a checklist and lay it out beside you to look, or the prompts that we're going to give you, all of that will help you. So don't be afraid of that conferring piece. Okay, keep going. How is one-on-one conferring amidst a class even possible? How are small groups possible? This is Lucy Calkins talking. She's the writer of this. Whenever I gather teachers of children together and talk to them about the power of one-to-one conferences of small group instruction, I find that a fair percentage of the teachers have trouble listening to a detailed description of what happens within a conference or a small group. Because their minds are stuck on the question, how is that even possible? How can you huddle with one child or with 4 kids? What are the other kids doing? And if I explain that the others are carrying on writing with lots of independence, it is not unusual for a teacher to gesture to me and to her and quietly whisper, my kids can't even zip their coats without me. How can they possibly write without me? You know, that's typical. Teachers are like, what? How is that possible? I also want to suggest that you will benefit more from the upcoming section if you try to let yourself play the believing game. I really like this part. Let yourself play the believing game. If you're one sitting there thinking, I don't know about this might be really hard. I think it will help if you temporarily set aside the part of you that says, no way, it's not possible. Try reading the upcoming section, realizing that in literally thousands and thousands of classrooms, writers can actually carry on as writers with enough independence that teachers find it relatively easy to conduct one-on-one conferences and small group coaching sessions. And those classrooms are like yours. The writing workshop is thriving in large cities, in elite private schools, in rural hamlets, in international schools throughout the world, in public key question is, how is this done? Because there is nothing special in those schools or in those teachers' DNA. I really love that part. We were talking about the Teachers College website, which Kay is going to show you later. And I said, oh, there's a place on there where it says news at the top, and that's kind of fun to look through that because it shows you all of these teachers' comments from around the world. This has been going on for years and years and years. Easier now with the units of study. Not saying it's easy, but it's easier with the units of study, the lessons. And it's been going on all around the world. Okay? All right, I thought that was so important to share that. All right, now I want you to read. This is about conferring, and we're going to get to the way that conferring happens. But first, everybody read up to the architecture of the writing conference, that little introduction there. I just read you some of it, but it'll be okay if you read over everything. All right. So read the first couple pages to the architecture of writing conferences.
force. So we may have to sit and do a mini lesson on problem solving. What do I do if I want to write a word that's tricky? It's a cool word, I need to use it, I want to use it, what can you do? And just model it for them. What do you hear in that word? What do you know about those patterns that make that sound? Try one. If it doesn't look right, you can try, O-U, O-W. They both say out. Which one do we want to try? Okay, let's try O-W. And, does it look right? Maybe, maybe not. You know what I mean? It's just doing some talking through those things that are coming up that are stopping your kids from taking risks. Kind of empowering them that it's okay if you don't get the word spelled right. A lot of times you'll be able to read it by this, if you're using all the right consonants, or most of them, you can still read what they're writing. Just encourage them to try.
I would just add then, if you're doing that, which you should be doing, then don't get all over them about the spelling.
Right.
So when you look at the page, because then you're sending mixed messages. It's like try on your own, and then when I look at your paper and say, I can't read that word, but they're going to like,
And a lot of
"You told me to try it."
times with our reading recovery kids, we just say, try that up here on the practice page. Not necessarily in their work if they want it to be all pretty. We have a practice page that's not, that's maybe up above or to the side. Try it, and I'll come back and see how you did later. Make them try it. And you can always come back and say, oh, nice job. Even if it's not perfect. Transfer it over. Okay, you're ready to write that.
I was in a classroom where the kids were stuck on spelling, and she had essentially a parking lot for spelling words. So if you had a word you couldn't spell, you came and did your best. And as the teacher had time, it was just like a chart paper. As she had time, she came and wrote it correctly next to it, and then other kids could reference the chart if they needed the same one.
And a lot of teachers will use word, those high frequency word charts in their writing folder so that kids can access those high frequency words on their own. And high frequency words are often very tricky sometimes. So that's another tool that they can have with them to help you.
Unless there's a word wall of high frequency words, then you expect those to be spelled right? You teach your kids to use it, and those are the ones you expect to be spelled right. But if they're trying their own new words, then you don't really expect those to be right. As long as they're stretching a word and listening to the sounds that they hear. We talked about the practice page and how kids can try it. Okay, all right, let's read the next section, the architecture of writing conferences. Now, the architecture, it's, well, we kind of talked about this earlier with reading, but we did the complement first, and they don't list that. So if you're looking at the architecture of writing conferences, and you see there those bulleted points there of how you do a conference, they don't say complement. I always think it's going to start with a complement, the complement first, right? And in reading, we talked about the complement first, but in writing, it's the same. Complement, then you research, you do a quick check, you're trying to gather as much information as you can to see what that child is doing, ask the child what they're doing, that's your research. Then you decide what to teach, and then you teach it using one of these methods, which is the same. Demonstration, guided practice, explicitly telling, or showing an example, inquiry, that piece is the same. Okay, it's usually some demonstration and some guided practice. And then the link. You're not just teaching them for this second on this book, you're teaching them that they can use this strategy forever in every book. All right, so let's read the architecture of writing conferences let's read through the research phase, the first part. So read up to the decision phase, the next part. Research phase. Heard some great comments. You're walking up to the child, you're going to sit down with them. Tell me about that. What were your comments?
We just talked about the routine of the conversation, following that routine, and how if you follow that routine, it's going to teach them automatically that peer conversation that they should be having too.
Right. Good comment. Very good. Anything else?
I also heard them, I was just eavesdropping. I heard them talking about how important it is to give children
expand that language so that they get better at using that language. When they say, I'm writing about my character, and you can say, well, I can see that you're adding detail right here about your character. You're really writing in a descriptive way about your character. You're giving them the language so that they can then later say that back to you. Any other comments on that research phase? Listening. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said that. Anything else you're doing?
Oh, just, it's a, I guess it's just like, the job to do. Just listen to.
So I'm so glad you said that. A good conference begins with deep listening. The child, you're sending them a message that what you're doing is important work, and I really want to know what you're doing. I am really listening to what you say. And that's even hard for me sometimes because I'm scanning and I'm trying to read while they're talking to me, and I need to really listen, really be a good listener because I'm already reading over here. It's like if you come over there, the children need to expect that you are going to listen to them. And I know I heard someone else say this down the road, that when you meet someone and you cross paths, and they say, hi, how's it going? And you go, fine. You know that they're not really listening and they don't really want to know. If somebody says, Amanda, how are you doing? And you go, oh, I'm fine, because you don't know if I'm really going to listen. But I say, no, really, Amanda, what have you been doing this summer, really? Tell me. And then she thinks, oh, this person really does want to know, and she tells you more. So the kids need to know that you are there to listen and you're going to be listening to them. Okay? All right. We read the research phase. Now the next phase is the decision phase. This is where you're going to make your decision about what to teach. And, okay, so read the decision phase really quickly. It's really kind of short in my book anyway. And you're going to make your decision about what to teach. She says this is the most important or most challenging step of all. The most challenging. To make your decision about what to teach, you have to consider what does the child want to do? What's the goal you're working toward? Where are they on a pathway of becoming a good writer? And what have you been studying? To consider all of that. And in the last section, I forgot to say, when you come, she says in the book, when you come up to the writer and you see something very small, they spelled something wrong with the period, you see something really quick and easy, you don't just jump on that. You're thinking now in this decision phase, what's the most important move I can make right here that will change this child forever in their work? What's the most important move? I guess it's why I put some pressure on you, like what's the decision I can make here? But it made me feel a lot better when she said there isn't one perfect answer. There's lots of different ways to fix writing. And even, you'll see some videos in a second, and even some of the moves that, who am I to not agree with Lucy? And I don't mean that, but even some of the decisions she makes, just because I'm not as knowledgeable as she is, but I think, oh gosh, I would think to go there where she does. You'll see that on some videos.
I think
She
it's
decides.
the key that you keep in your mind is that just like in reading, you're not teaching a book, you're teaching the reader. When you do this, you're not just specifically trying to improve this one piece of writing. You're trying to teach them a strategy that they're going to use on every piece of writing that they look at. Sometimes, that helps. Think about that. Helps your teacher teaching a little bit broader. And the other thing we do with reading recovery teachers, we have to do a compliment and a teaching point every day, several times in our writing and our reading. And there are many times, I'll do one, and then after I'm looking at my paperwork later and the kid's gone, and I'm thinking, that wasn't a really powerful one. But, I'm going to have another opportunity at that. So, don't be too hard on yourself because, it is kind of a little bit of pressure to get it all right, but you're not going to kill a kid by,
You're learning,
Choosing the wrong teaching.
you're doing the best.
Right.
And a less impactful teaching.
Yes. Try for the most powerful.
Right.
Some days you hit the mark and sometimes you don't.
Yes,
And it's
good
okay.
point. Good point. Anything you girls want to add to that?
I liked how she said it's okay to delay it so that you can make the best one, like continue to listen to them.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes might not figure out right away.
I like that too. Gives you a little more time, and you can even ask something general, like, tell me more about that. What are you thinking about your writing today? Something kind of general, to get them to continue talking, so you can continue working. I like that too.
I'm not sure if it was in this section or this one, but we have to talk a lot about how important the teacher is to the success of students, but then we talk about, one of the biggest factors in that is feedback. And so you just have to kind of keep in mind that, giving them no feedback is bad. Not giving them feedback on what they're doing is not a good thing. And then also, I think that just the power of giving feedback positively and not, again, you just always have to say, what can I find positive about what they're doing? Because there are going to be days when you pick up somebody's writing, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, where do I even begin, right? I mean, we've all been there, because you're like, how would I do this? I don't even know what it says, So just try, I see you have a lot here, tell me what you wrote. You might have to have them read it to you, to get the gist of what it is, but that's just
Well, I was just going to say, working with a third grader entitled, he was mostly writing, he was a decent reader, and man, writing could get us right. So he was in workshop during workshop time, and then I took him once a week, and I would just have him bring his writing notebook. And I mean, he just would waste time in class and not get anything done. Just had a hard time organizing it all, and he was just not focused. So he would bring his notebook and I'd say, what did you work on last week? Or I would give him a purpose when I sent him off the week before. Next week when I meet with you, I want you to show me how much you got done on there. And I mean, he would either have lost it or, and so when he would bring something, I would say, well, what did you work on? And I would say, have one thing. And I'd say, awesome, you've got a great idea. You gotta find something. Oh, you have an idea.
And just to add to that, Kate, always give them credit for what they've done and try to go in their direction if you can. You don't want to say, well, this is terrible, you need to start again on something else. Let them go in the direction that they're going. You're trying to help them where
You like using exclamation points and making the pop-out words really dark, Wow, you are using pop-out words. This is going to make it easy for your reader when they read it to know how excited you are. Okay, now what else can we add to that?
they love those big dark words and they waste so much time doing it. They're like, yeah, that's funny. Okay, anything else you want to add about?
Had one little boy wanted to pop out the word Not sure he clearly understands the use of pop out words, but goes there somewhere.
Anything else about the decision phase? Okay, we have 2 phases left, the teaching phase and the link is pretty short and it's about what we've already talked about, making this so meaningful. It's not just about this piece of writing, it's what you can do in writing forever. That's what the link is. So go ahead and read the teaching phase and the link, because it's very short. Pig goes to E in the story, you wouldn't say, good job putting E into the story. Good job showing me what the pig says, but you would say, good job adding dialogue. You can add dialogue in every story that you ever, or if it's appropriate, a narrative. That your language is so important. You're not saying, oh, good job putting E right here. You're saying, good job adding dialogue. That's kind of dialogue of a pig, right? And you made your story more interesting right here by doing that or something. So that your language is very important there. Anything else?
Laura, I was gonna say that the progressions that Amy's gonna show, like you said at the beginning, I just wanna reiterate that. You don't have to know everything there is about what makes a good piece of writing, but it's there on those progressions, what you can use for teaching points. The student checklists and different things that are there for you. So you know maybe what you can teach them, what those broad skills are.
You might need to carry with you for a while when you're going to start conferring a list of prompts. You're going to talk to that child about a list of things to say, and that's fine. Just give yourself a break. It's hard to start. Don't be afraid. Just try it. Just sit by a child, ask them what they're doing, try to have a genuine conversation with them about their work, and you'll get better. As you're reading the units, and you're looking at progressions, checklists, prompts, you'll get better. Get better at it. Okay, the link phase, any comments on that? We kind of already talked about this, the importance of telling the child, kind of wrapping up, you might restate teaching point. Today you are adding describing words. Don't forget that in all of your pieces from here on, you can add more describing words to make your writing more interesting to the readers. Okay, all right, that is the conferring chapter. We're going to watch some videos now. The first one we're going to watch is Harold. He's a little kindergartner. And this is Amanda Hartman. Is that Amanda Hartman? Is that right?
There isn't Amanda Hartman.
Is that right? She's Lucy Hawkins' partner. She's an author, yes. So it's in that first little section there. Okay, I'm sorry. It's not right there, the first one. Yep, Harold and Amanda. Yep, and I might just kind of do a voiceover here, and if I see a part, I hope it doesn't bother you, I might just say, here's the compliment, or here's the teaching, I might just say that. Go ahead. He's going to compliment him a lot. Because he's little, and he's trying.
Miss Lily? Yeah, okay. First I was eating the hot dog, then a burger, then I ate a dollar, a vanilla cookie, and then I ate sausage.
Okay, who's writing?
Oh God, I didn't know what happened over here. I got a food. Oh my gosh, what does it say? I love food. Oh my God, you must really love food. You eat a lot of food, Harold. Yeah, did you really eat all that food at one time? Did you really? Wow, Harold, what a story about you eating all that food. You've got 2 pages here. First, about you eating the food, and then how all the food was done. That's a great story. I love how you wrote it across pages, just like a real writer does in a real book. So what are you going to do now, Harold? Are you going to do another story? Yeah. Oh my gosh, really, that's so exciting. Do you know what your story's going to be? Yeah. What's it going to be? It's going to be a book. Oh, okay, so you're going to make one that's kind of the same? Okay, so Harold, what you do, take out my booklet, and how's it going to, do you know how it's going to go across the pages? You've got a 3-page booklet here. How's it going to go? It's showing how it's going to hold this. It's got, Harold, look at me. It's got to be a true story about Harold. Okay. So if I was to tell a true story about Amanda, I would kind of say something like, one day I went swimming with my friend Mary. Okay. We went splashing into the water.
Demonstrating.
A big wave came and pushed us down under the water. I got water up my nose. Okay, do you hear how I tell my story? Okay, so now I want you to try to tell your story like that. Go ahead, you try. I can't tell my story like that. Oh. So let's try to think of a real true story that happened to Harold.
Thinking, I just think God, he's so precious. He's just hanging on her every word.
So she modeled and demonstrated, now she's trying to get
I don't know. Okay, so what I do is I try to think about the things that I do. things that I do are great stories. Like, I walk to school in the morning, and I go swimming, and I ride my bike in the park. That would make a great story for that I have. I got a great story about me riding my bike in the park. I go reading my books in the park. Do you see how I do like lots of different things? What kinds of things do you do, Harold? Oh, when I get dressed to go to school. Oh my gosh, that's something we can do. That would be an interesting story. What else do you like to do? Go to the beach. Oh my gosh, you go to the beach. I love going to the beach too. What else do you like to do? I swim. Oh my gosh. You've got 3 stories. You've got one about coming to school in the morning getting dressed, one going to the beach and playing at the beach, and one going swimming. Which one do you think you want to write today? We'll get dressed. Okay, let's try to tell it. Go ahead, let's try to tell it. First, I was putting on my shirt, and I was putting on my pants, then I put on my shoes. Here's the last page. What do you do when you got everything on? I walk to school. Oh my gosh. See? Let's try to tell it again, okay? Okay, so you want to start right from the part where you're waking up and getting your clothes on, ready? Yeah. Go ahead. First I wake up, then I put on my shirt, then I put on my pants, and I put on my shoes. Then I walk to school. Wow, so you're getting up in the morning and going to school. That's really great, Harold. And that's a true story, right? Did that really happen to you? Yeah, that really happened to you. Great. Let's try to tell the story about going to the beach. You want to hold the book? Okay. Here we go. Go ahead. First, I go to the beach and then lunch. Oh, I love you going to the beach. Then I get swimming. Then I eat my snack and then I leave. Wow, that's a great story, Harold. So let's see if we can remember it, okay? We gotta remember all the details. Okay, so one day, go ahead. First I came to the beach.
Trying to figure out one day.
Then I was swimming with my mom. Oh, with your mom? Oh, that's important. Okay. Then I ate snacks and then that's a great story, Harold. Great. So now you just told a story about going to the beach that you can go write during writing time. Huh? So when you're doing your writing, Harold, I want you to be thinking about true stories from your life, okay? Right. And then when you're thinking about them and you're having a hard time coming up with an idea, think about what are things that I'd like to do. And you can put that into a story. Okay? Alright. I'll do that.
That's so good. See how she made him more independent right there. He's going to be able to sit in his seat maybe and write more of a story now. Maybe. Yes, Marcia.
So she gave the example of focus swimming. Now, what do they recommend? Like, let's say, we wanted to write about swimming. That was the example. Did we let her just go for that?
I mean, she did swimming and then she did something else.
No. Like
She did swimming and he wants to do swimming.
he's like, oh my gosh, it's great. I want to go write about
They
swimming.
do that so often.
And so that's okay. Like, we can just let them.
I mean, you could, and you might get a feel for, did they really do this? Or did they just copy and paste?
Yeah.
You know, and you can let them go with it. Because they're gonna write so many stories, they could write about that one, and then they're gonna write about this one. So, if they wrote 5 stories about going swimming, then that might talk to them about that. I think it's probably gonna talk about that. And you can see with the videos too, it's not always really clear that you see a compliment, and then a decision phase, and then a teaching. It's not always black and white. As you can see, a lot of times it's in there. All right, this next one this is Lucy Coppins herself. She's the creator of the workshop. You might look at some of what she says and think, oh, yikes. But really, truly, she is a genius. She really is. And knows what she's doing. This is in the first section too. Yes. So I'll probably voice over again and try to clear this. Yes. Yeah, good. Oh, thank you. This child is really
It's been going good.
So have you been trying to write about your friendship?
Yeah.
And tell me about how it's been going.
Well, I've been writing in the moment that shows how our friendship is. I wrote one on the pond, a story when me and John were jumping in the pond, and how when I was scared to jump in, he like comforted me, and he helped me and made me feel like I wanted to do it.
Wow. Last time when we looked at your notebook, this was at that.
Yeah.
What we saw was that you had a lot of entries about you and John, but you didn't really talk that much about the two of you.
Yeah.
You talked more like about skiing together.
Yeah.
And the things you did.
Yeah.
Okay, and now you're writing about jumping in the pond.
Yeah. He helped me do adventures that sometimes I was scared to.
I see. You've written about jumping in the pond with John, and you did it in a way which really shows your
Yeah, the relationship. Yeah.
She's researching.
How did it feel to do that? Wasn't it feel like a new thing for you?
I think that it did feel like a new thing because in my old notebook right here, I didn't show a lot of my relationship. Like I only showed a little bit.
Well, give me a little bit of your notebook, read a little bit.
Like if John wasn't there with me, I would have to. I'm glad that I went with him. He's my friend. And here, I have much more about friendship where we talk to each other. He tries to help me, not be scared, and he comforts me and like does all those things. But in this one, it's all about like the other stuff. There's barely any part that shows a relationship.
So what do you think you're going to do next?
Well, maybe I'll write more in the moment stories on how John, when I was scared to do adventure, like he would make me feel comfortable, and so I would do it, and like he would show me, and like in the pond story.
Now you said to me that you might look at other parts of your friendship in different ways, but then you just gave me another example. Like you might have different moments that show the same thing.
Yeah.
So am I right that you've got a choice then? You might end up writing this thing, but John, your friendship with John is one that he's like a mentor to you and helps you to feel.
Well, he's a mentor, but he's also kind of like a role model because he shows me what to do. Like when I'm scared, like in this story, when I was scared to do it, he showed me what to do.
He would just plunge into the water. Okay. So one option is to just sort of say that, and then have different moments that you go to in your life where he's being kind of a role model, right?
Yeah.
And then the other option, did you say that another possibility was to go to different parts of your friendship?
Yeah.
Like these other things too, where you're
Yeah, like sometimes I can be a role model him. If there's something new to him, or like if he's scared like me to do something that I've never done or he's never done, then like I can show him or he can show me.
Okay. So which of those are just two options? You
Internet must be slow today, I'm sure. It seems like it's not hard.
So notice she's doing a lot of research and trying to decide about what to talk to him about. She gave him an option. And one thing he said, because it's really important, he said,
I'm glad that
in the moment stories.
I'm glad that I went with him.
Oh, sorry, everybody. No, I'm just gonna
So,
move it forward.
Joey, how's it been going?
I'm
It's
trying
been
to
good.
get it to that.
If not, we'll try that. Usually doesn't happen to us. Until he's so engaged into what he's doing.
Is to just sort of say that, and then to have different moments that you go to in your life where he's being kind of a role model, right? Yeah. And then the other option, did you say that another possibility was to go to different parts of your friendship?
Yeah.
Like these other things too, where you're
Yeah, like sometimes I can be a role model him. If if there's something new to him, or like if he's scared like me to do something that that I've never done or he's never done, then like I can show him or he can show me.
Okay. So which of those are just two options? Do you know what you want to do? Do you want to stay with this theme of him sort of as a role model, helping you do things?
I think I'm gonna stay with it because I think I have a lot of things on it. Because I wrote I wrote just about in general about kids and being role models to other kids. And so I think I'm gonna stick with it, but I think maybe after I do a bunch more of being a role model, maybe I'll look at our friendship in different ways.
Okay. So, you've just given yourself a big plan, right?
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, that's really smart for a writer to be able to say, this is right. I used to write this way, this new way, and this is my plan.
Yeah.
Right, so let me give you one pointer. I saw the little water spiders sitting there on top of the water. I felt chills go up and down my back. Okay, this is beautiful. See, here, you were really in the moment. Okay, when you're writing about being afraid and imagining the snakes and so forth. And then you shifted here. I was thinking about how John did not even mind the bugs. Okay, I'm going to try to say to yourself, read over everything you write and see when you get out of the moment. And see if you can put it in the moment. Okay, so let's see see if we can do that together. I swallowed. I imagine the heart scales going up and down the back of the snake. Okay, now, you're right there, looking in the water, thinking about whether or not you're going to jump in. Okay, and now you want to think about John being brave. Okay, what could you do? What could you look at? What could you do? What could he say? Stay right in the actions. Let me go back and read this. I saw tiny salamanders. I saw garden snakes. I swallowed. I imagined the heart scales going up and down the back of the snake.
He wants him to stay in the moment.
Stay right in the action.
Beside me, John was soaking wet with water, and he still was. He amazed me so much.
No, you're summarizing it. Just say what he did. So John, shook off the water. It feels good, doesn't it? Okay. Then you say, I thought. You can say exactly what did you think.
I thought that.
Say the words of it.
I thought John.
Geez, John. So you're right there at that moment. You're going to be almost like thinking to him.
So like.
What did you think then? Can you remember that right then? Picture? You're right there in the dock.
I think I remember thinking that he was crazy because he wasn't afraid.
Okay, you're crazy, John. Aren't you scared? Right? I thought. You won't remember exactly what you did think. You almost have to make it up. Almost like make a little play on the page. Okay? And then probably do something. Like you don't have to have a whole lot of talk there.
So like thinking.
What?
So like thinking.
Let's go back and try this again. So what I'm suggesting is you read this over and see if there's a place where you get out of the moment. Okay? And to me, right here is one of those places. I swallowed. Imagine the heart scales going up and down the back of the snake. I was thinking about how John did not even mind the bugs. Okay? We've left the moment. If you were thinking, just thinking.
So
why doesn't he mind the bugs?
So like I said, I saw John over there soaking wet. I thought he was crazy.
He's crazy. Put it in almost like in quotes. He's crazy.
He's crazy. Why doesn't he care about the bugs?
Yeah, the bugs, the bloodsuckers, the whatever, right? The spiders didn't. He went right through them, right? Yeah. But in general, go through this and make sure that you're staying in the moment. Like you're doing amazingly here.
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, you're doing it fantastically down here too. There will be places where you read it and you have to get good at reading and telling and saying to yourself, oops, and I got out of the moment. Thanks.
And she kind of did a link. Remember to see where you're coming out of the moment, try to stay in the moment. And he's had many lessons on that, on staying in the moment. watching Lucy, I wouldn't have chosen that to teach. Like, I thought his writing was pretty good, and she chose that to work off. But, you know, it doesn't hurt anything. That's okay. There's different ways to fix it. But she would choose something different than I would. And,
Choose to spell out the word chill.
yeah,
Chills.
there was lots of misspelling.
And that's true.
And she
She
just
was
said, she didn't talk about that. That's why
Went right in the something. Yeah.
Correct.
Right. Writer's craft.
Yes, good point. Okay, this last one. Anyway, hold on. Any other comments on that one?
I have a question.
Yes.
So that was an 8-minute one, and she said, do not go above 5, right?
I know.
But I mean, like,
You'll
how
see
do
that a lot.
it's so hard to leave a kid when he's right there.
Right.
Like, he's just right there. If I just stay with him for
You are so right.
20 more minutes and ignore everybody else,
Yes.
I can get it there.
And then sometimes it says conferences should be 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
That's just a judgment that she made
Okay.
at that second, and she's being videoed, and it's.
Well, sure,
so
absolutely, 100%,
She
but-
wants to really do it, make a good example of the rest of it. I know, that happens a lot. We read the way it should be perfectly,
Yeah.
and then in the real world, it's a little bit different. Good point. Okay, this last one is Lucy and an older boy. I might still do a voiceover a little bit and talk about hearts. He noticed she followed in the last one. She followed him and did it in the moment. He was working on it in the moment, so she continued with that. In this one, he's working on telling something bit by bit, which he's learned in many lessons. She's going to follow that direction and go with him now. And then we'll take a break after this.
I know that your teachers asked you, what do you think in part of it? Yes. What do you think? What's been on your mind? What do you think about it? Well, I've been trying to take Adam's story and trying to think about take his story and put it in my ending. And I noticed that he's done his ending, he's shown every part of that that moment, he's shown the part where she went up the hill, he ran up to get your glimpse, and I've tried to do every piece of that. So the way you told the stories with the name of this, did you also take any of the other techniques you noticed that you used a particular object as a symbol, or 2 objects as symbols, or no? Well, I didn't take that. Okay. It was mostly the extending the image. Yes. Okay. So where did you do that? Starts here. Let's put this together. This is the part you wrote today? Oh, this is my ending. This is the ending. Okay, this is right. Okay, and I'm going to be looking at this to see. We'll look at it together to see the way in which you stretched it out. Yes. As I stood there with my arms latched tight around my sister and my cheek on her shoulder. Ooh, right? You're starting with a strong image. I thought about all the things that shared our relationship. I thought about how my tears symbolized the bond that held our relationship. I'll miss you, I said, with the tears pouring down my eyes. I'll miss you too, she said, with a river of tears coming down her face. Let's go, Jack, my mom said. She wasn't showing about her face. It was as dry as Japan after their Sinatra tsunami. Oh, you mean not at all dry, right? Yes. I looked up, sister, and I got the door. As I looked down hall, I glanced at the glimpse, once you could see what she walked to go to come home. Okay, so you're trying to tell it really big. Yes. And how do you think you did that? Well, I did, I know I could do more of the big part, but I think where I showed you that I stood there, stood there with my arms around her and my cheek on her shoulder, and I just said I stood there hugging my sister. I think that kind of shows it bit by bit, and then kind of stretching it out a little more. Tears in the symbol. Yes, and then I put dialogue. And can I stop you for a second? So let's get Alice Mentor out of the piece you're studying. What is that one? It's a piece on the right. Is this the piece?
Writing here.
So let's look really closely at how Adam did that exact same part. Right. Okay. The car pulled down the driveway. Right? She says, "Is this the part you want to look at, or should we look here?" I stood there for a moment and slowly made my way back up the drive. Yeah, because I stood there. Okay. I stood there for a moment. Then slowly made my way up the back drive. I remembered I was holding John's pen pad, and I put it on backwards. Okay. I walked into his room. So when I'm studying what I did this bit by bit by bit, it does seem to me that it's a little bit more stretched out still than you've got it. Because here, as I stood there with my arms, I found my sister, and she's on her shoulder, fine. I thought about all the things that shifted our relationship. It's not sort of, as I stood there, this thought came to me, I did this, then I did this, then I did this. You say I thought about all the things that shifted our relationship. Would you call that bit by bit? No. Do you see that? I would kind of like, I thought all the things. That moment, you could still, somebody want to say, you could spend like, you could write like 30 pages about just washing a dish. Okay? Because you could like hold the dish, and you could think about this, then you can take the sponge, and you can think about this, and then you can move the sponge on the dish, and you can think about this. You see, you can notice the bubbles, you can shake them off your hand, right? At this time, if you're clearly trying to stretch out, you can do it more. Okay? And it just has to do with pushing yourself. Because you've got a lot of talent as a writer. But when you've got talent, it's kind of like a responsibility. Because you've got to like work so hard to make it like, this is good. Okay? And a lot of people would say, oh yeah, you stretched out. Anyway, you can look at that and spin some, you can say, you did it even better. Okay? Can you think you could do it more? Yes. Okay. Well, how are you going to physically do it? Are you going to do it on this page or get another paper from it?
I would probably get another page and like rewrite all of this and then have it like as I stood there with my arms lashed tight around my sister and my cheek on her shoulder. I thought about how this happened.
Something specific.
Yes.
Okay. And then your actions with your sister, maybe you pushed her hair out of her face, or you wiped her this. You do more things and you think more. And you do more things and you think more. Okay. So this paragraph is going to become a page. Yes. Right. And that's kind of ambitious work, isn't it? Okay.
She didn't do a link, but she said that's gonna be ambitious work, isn't it? She's planning that language, you are doing ambitious work. She's telling you that, so. Okay, any other, last comments on the furry?
Phones or something.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot on here.
Those are all tips that we kind of already talked about, sure, if you wanted to, I feel like we've already talked about all those.
And like this is important to use the writer to set goals or some of the examples of the work that she asked me to do is make sure you document that and look back and follow up. I think it's really important. Sometimes we forget what we talked about last time we met with them, or some kids need us to check back to see how that went. Read it over, make sure they actually do talk about it. Because I think there are some kids that you will have to hold accountable for what you discussed.
You might start your conference that way. Last time we talked about, that's a good point. All right.
Or even just say, I want you to go try that, and I'm going to come back and check with you tomorrow. So they know you're going to come back, and they can expect you to be there to talk about it again. It's not just okay, she left, I'm done, you know.
Is anyone here reporting sheet that you were?
We're gonna go through the other sheets.
Yeah, like,
And a lot of teachers have made what works for them, but yes, definitely certain things. I mean, there's some recording sheets that you put, what the compliment was, what the teaching point was. Right.
okay, thank you guys for staying with me on that. You did a great job. Let's take a break. So, 10 minutes in a row. So 20 after.
The Jennifer Skin. What? We brought Megan, do you want the reading book or do you want to? Yeah, you want it?
I'm going to go ahead and start kind of in a new book today. I want you to get comfortable with the writing pathways book, so if you can pull that out, you're going to find all sorts of valuable information in there. Today I'm going to start talking with you about the on-demand writing performance assessment, and I'm not going to have you read the chapter because I'm going to summarize it for you. So yay, just listen. And I'm going to read because I summarized it, you know, how it is when you really think it through, and I can read it better than I'll be able to just talk about it. So one of the reasons why I'm not going to have you read it is because the on-demand writing assessments are not required by our district at this time. However, it's really important that you understand a little about them so you can value and judge whether it's some, you know, it's a very authentic assessment and gives you good information and data about your students. So there is a valid reason for doing it. It's just that we found that it can be a little bit overwhelming for kids. Now, I think that we've been in this several years. I think it's time that we should maybe start doing it more often. At the beginning, it would have been very overwhelming because you'd be asking kids to do things that they have not built up the stamina, they have not built up kind of that repertoire of skills. So it was very overwhelming when we first tried them. And again, I think now that we're in, you know, after 3 years, they are definitely ready for that. I think it would give us as teachers some good information. So the purpose of the on-demand writing performance is to collect writing data that demonstrates what each child has learned to do quickly and absolutely independently. Think about, you know, what they're doing in their units. There are all kinds of hands in their writing pieces. They have peer hands, they might have a para hand in it, they might have the teacher's input into it. So there are all kinds of people contributing to that piece of writing. With on demand, it's what that child can do totally completely on their own. So it would give you a good baseline data and also very, very visible kind of evidence of their growth. So you might do one in the beginning, middle, and end of the year, and you would definitely be able to see growth, hopefully, over the year. So, and that's what they could do independently. So it is significant that you are assessing your children and your own teaching, not on the basis of pieces of writing that are produced across a week's worth of work within a unit of study, with everyone having input into them, but instead on the basis of pieces that your students produce on their own, on the spot, after the unit is completed. This sends a message to you, parents, and others. If any one of us co-authors a child's piece of writing, making it vastly better than anything the child could have possibly produced on their own, working outside their zone of proximal development, then even if this produces a better piece, it's all for naught. Okay, so basically, if we are taking a piece of writing that a student is doing and making it so much vastly improved beyond that, what that child can do on their own, then we're really wasting their time. Because, you know, what we want to teach them is maybe that one next step that they can do on their own. Not to take something and just totally work it to the point where it's not that child's piece. It becomes not theirs. It becomes something else entirely. So it says if our involvement with a child's writing to write better another day on another piece, then that involvement doesn't add up to much. One of the cardinal principles of any responsible approach to teaching and writing is that it is important to teach students today in ways that affect every day. You're going to hear that over and over and over again. Always teach in ways that will improve the writer, not just the writing. Prioritize what is most important to teach this writer at this time. So basically they're saying when you give the on-demand writing prompt, you can look at that piece of writing and probably pick out maybe 2 or 3 things that you feel are very important for improvement. And then of those, you just want to focus on one. And then bring it back to another time and hit the next. Okay, so I want you to just get an idea of what those prompts look like on page 86. And then middle school, I believe, is page 206, if you have a middle school book. And you might want to mark this page with a sticky note, so it's easy for you to find. This happens to be an opinion on-demand prompt. And I want you to read. These are your directions when administering the test, so just read that page right now. And then we're going to talk about what you think about it. Well, it's
You're in the guidebook and you have your writing pathways. Now, this is also online. You guys remember your online resources that you registered on Heinemann? I'm going to try to mirror this while you're talking. I'm going to go keep talking. You can look at it, but I'm going to bring it up to show where it is on.
They're just
Page 21.
86.
Are you going to give them access to the student checklist?
So what do you think? It's what?
I think he's affirming. Do it well.
Yeah. We found that it was very difficult. So it's a very brief explanation, and it's very open-ended, and I wrote the word difficult. Because you're right, especially kids or people with anxiety. You know, wow, I gotta write this paper in 45 minutes. And she does give them a heads up that they can bring things and they can kind of think about it over the evening. We know kids. When they go home, they're probably not thinking about what they're going to write tomorrow. But some will, and some won't. All right, now turn to page 128.
Did you mention that they're the same across the rainbow?
Yeah. Oh, I should say that, yeah. So for K2, you can kind of see, you get to give them just a tiny bit more. You can tell them to name your opinion, give the reasons, write it in. Then for 3A, you can add a couple more very brief bullets. You can put that up on the board for them to help them a little bit. But other than this, you're not supposed to do anything. You can display this while they're writing.
So the first time, maybe you said this, the first time they would be terrible, probably.
Of course.
And then the next time they're gonna be better.
Yeah.
The next time they're gonna be better. So all the way through K-5, that's probably not changed.
Right.
So they're gonna get better, 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 better.
So the prompt doesn't change.
Years.
We're still not going with perfection.
Right.
We're still
You are not.
Absolutely.
They're going for growth. You're going
Absolutely.
for growth.
It's gonna start bad at first.
And you want to
Show
know
growth.
what they can't do. What they can do, and what they can't do independently.
Yes, to build your teaching.
Okay, so now let's go to page 128. And you don't have to read it right now, but page 128 will give you the narrative prompt. mark that and write narrative on here. Again, you see it's very brief. It's the same for all grade levels, K through 5. For K2, you can add a little bit more detail. 3 through 8, you give a few little bulletin points. Those would be, up on the board. Then you just leave them alone and let them write. Like I said in the beginning, they had no clue where to start. Okay, are you in middle school?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to come help you with yours, just give me one more second. Okay, so then page 178 has your narrative prompt. 128 is information, 178 is narrative.
And it should be
We
right at the
got it.
beginning of
It's on the
the
shades.
page.
Yeah.
It's in the table of contents.
This makes it so much easier, you
Yeah,
guys.
it's all
I'm
right
going to
there.
show you just real quick. This is how easy it is. Just so you know, you have it in the book like Amy's showing you. But if you go to your online resources down to the right of pathways, they have it divided up. Opinion is first. Here is your on-demand prompt. So you click on it, and it brings it up, and it says save this to students. K through 2 students you will add, 3 through 8 students you will add. So that's all right there. So then that's opinion, you go down, informational. There is the on-demand prompt for informational for everybody. So it's so easy on
Okay,
there.
this is how you and I differ.
Do you think it's easier online?
This is so easy for me to just turn to the right page. And Kay's like, this is so easy to do on your
And
computer.
there's your informational. It's
right.
all right there.
Yeah.
But just so you know, it's in both,
Okay.
but a lot of teachers don't want to haul their books around.
Sure.
So this is,
Yeah.
it's all
So you can
right.
find it in both places. And like he said, you can pretty much find anything on
So
these.
when you talk about checklists and where they are in the book, then I can show
Sure.
how
You're
it
gonna
is.
mirror for me? Well, thank you.
So what are you gonna
Okay.
do all 3?
Yeah, that's the question. Because that came up, if you're doing all 3 writing prompts,
But then
that's
you
like,
You
that's
check
like
their
9
grade
prompts a
through
year.
years, right? You
Right.
check their progress on argument.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Right. So this is why we haven't worked that out, and that's why we're not doing one this time. It is overwhelming, it's a lot to ask. So maybe you just want to focus on narrative for 1 year. You want to do the 3 narrative prompts. That would be fun. But this is just an option. I just want to kind of let you know that when you're reading about on-demand writing prompts, this is what we're talking about. Okay, now turn back to page 22. Because it will address your concerns. Okay, so what we were just discussing on page 22 where it says addressing questions and concerns. When you embark upon the on-demand assessments, you may think various aspects of the task are unduly difficult or not appropriate for your children's grade level. We agree the wording of the prompts is often not child-friendly. The reason we suggest you give those particular prompts, despite knowing they are sometimes too complex for some children, is that we want all children at a young age to have the opportunity to show us that they can write like children at the older grade level, if they can. And this is only going to happen if the prompts are kept the same. Okay, so they're giving you some rationale for why they want the prompts to be the same. Basically, consistency. You're not favoring one grade level over another. They all get the same chance to write. And even within your classroom with this prompt, you will see various levels of how they go about that. You're going to find out who the tenacious ones are, who the ones that are problem solvers and get in there and start right away. You're going to be able to see who's going to sit back and do nothing, and that will be very, it will tell you a lot. Again, with the openness of the topic, we don't want to narrow their scope. We want to have give them the opportunity to express themselves freely and show development or detail in their own way. So this section just sort of tells what their rationale is behind giving such a vague, difficult prompt, so.
And I guess my thinking is, if you, because I know our kindergarten teachers and our first grade teachers are like, tell it. You know, it's just gonna cause kids to cry. And so you can also, if you wanted to, I know that the prompt is written there just like that, so everybody administers and you can compare apples to apples, but in your own knowledge, you know, if you want to modify that prompt to one that you think your kids could write to, then,
And then just
rather
say
than not do anything at all,
Mhm.
you could do that and do it at the beginning of the unit and at the end of the unit. You can also take writing samples from the beginning of the unit to the end of the unit. So there are other ways to gather that same information, but
So the other thing that they're really, really big on at Teachers College is, you know, the idea of professional collaboration. And so in order for you to meet as a grade level and look at all the writing samples that you have, you know, it has to be consistent. So if you're wanting to do some professional development and improve your teaching and looking at writing samples as a professional learning community, then it's very important that you have that consistency and you can, you know, sort of the playing field is going to be. So that's another kind of rationale for that. And they actually do that, you know, with this, you know, in New York. That's one of the things that they do is analyze the writing in a very deep and meaningful way and talk about how it reflects on their teaching. So it is like very rigorous as you as a teacher. Okay, so basically following the administration of your assessment, you will analyze the writing based on the rubrics. An example of the rubric can be found on page 11. So just flip to page 11. We're going to talk a little bit more about the rubrics later. So you will see that up at the top you'll have a grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, and it gives you the different areas of their overall lead, transitions, ending, organization, elaboration, craft, and spelling and punctuation. So all of your writing will be evaluated using the rubrics. So you can kind of see that, you know. So let's say you're giving a second grader a piece of writing, or maybe it's something that they've made done, or maybe it's on demand. Your second grader,
Are you doing this thing yet, or I
can
quickly get to it?
You can. This is information.
Information, oh, I will change it.
And then, yes, because I would use that to.
So here,
point
it
at.
says rubrics, you can see opinion, and over down to informational rubrics, and you said.
Just to grade 2.
Okay.
Because I want to show them how they use it, even if you're grade 2. Okay, so, oh yeah, like that, no, smaller. So, this is your grade level, but you might have kids doing less than, and so your point value changes. You may have a second grader, you may have a second grader clear over here who would possibly score more points. Does that make sense? So those descriptors help you assess all of your writing. It's important for you to know that elaboration and craft are double weighted. Okay, so see the stars? Okay, so, and it will tell you down here in the footnote, okay? There you go. Elaboration and craft are double weighted categories. So if a student, whatever they get over here, double it, we take it over to the total. Those are worth more points. Again, that's why our focus is not on spelling and punctuation, because that's not what writing is really all about. It's about how well do they describe and craft their story. So you can kind of see. There's a ×2 here to help remind you that whatever points you give them, you double. Okay? Any questions about that? Some teachers were caught unaware at the beginning and wanted to point that out. team to pour through your samples, kind of discuss your observations using the rubrics. You practice as a team just using rubrics. You know, if you wanted to take your kids' samples and sit down and say, all right, guys, let's look at our papers here and practice using this rubric. What do you think? Did I score this correctly? We used to do that a lot with sixth grade writing. We used to sit down and kind of get that numerator reliability so that we were all scoring very similarly, and that's always a good idea. Plus, I feel like sometimes writing can be subjective. No matter, even if you're using a rubric, it can be subjective. So I feel like, am I being too hard? Am I being harder on my students than Kate's being on her students? And we can have a discussion about that. And she might be able to convince me that I'm being too hard based on what this says right here, and what the student wrote right here. So I think the other thing is that we talked about always giving the student the benefit of the doubt. If you're in doubt, it's probably best to go up just a bit to give them that benefit of the doubt if you're on the fence about what kind of score that you should give them. The rubrics really, really help you decide that. Okay? I know I went into a lot of detail about on-demand prompts, but I wanted you to understand their value so you can make a decision about whether you wanted to do that or not. Like I said, it's something that we have talked about probably trying to implement now that we've got our, feel like we have our feet underneath us and we might get some more valuable information. Okay, on to chapter 5. In the Pathways book, everyone turn to chapter 5. This, I told Laura, I love this part because I feel like this is so powerful both for you and for the students. This, to me, is so extremely helpful in the teaching of writing that I just don't know how to remember stuff without checklists. All right, so I want everyone to read chapter 5, introducing students to the self-assessment checklist. It's pretty short chapter. Pathways book, page 37. how do you feel when you get to cross it off? Oh, yeah, I'm the same way. I live by sticky notes. I don't know if you've seen me out there, but I live by sticky notes. I love to write things down, make a list, and it feels so good when I get to cross everything off the list. Okay, so kind of the same feeling when kids get a self-assessment checklist and they have to look at what they're doing and think, yes, I'm doing that. And they get to write, check, I'm doing that. Awesome feeling. So the big idea here is that the checklist is not meant to teach children anything, okay? It is there to use, to remind them of the kind of work that you've already taught. Okay, so basically they should not have anything on that checklist that they have not been taught yet. If so, then you need to move to a grade level previous checklist, which brings us to the point of the beginning of the school year. The checklist for your grade level is written for the end of the year. Basically, it's after you've taught everything you need to teach. So if you're starting a third, you're in third grade and you're starting off with a narrative unit, you probably will not hand your kids a third grade narrative checklist. You probably hand them a second grade narrative checklist. So be aware of that. Now, checklists are meant to be fluid. So think of the checklist as like a continuum. So let's say you have some SPED kids in your room, and you're kind of thinking that maybe you're third grade and you'd like for them to use a first grade checklist because you're pretty sure they know most of the things on that first grade checklist. That's completely appropriate to do. You would probably want to just tape off or white out the grade level, maybe put a number somewhere on there so that you know what they're using and you know this, once they've kind of aced through that checklist with just a couple of things that they're working on, maybe you're ready to move up to a second grade checklist, but you don't want to make it obvious that they're using a first grade checklist. Wipe that out before you copy it for them. And we do have some transitional checklists too. You want to show like second, third together. So this might be one that you use in the middle of the year when kids are transitioning from second to third. And this is great because, maybe they can do some of these things really well. And so now you challenge them to look at what's next for you as a writer. Okay? Some of your kids might just be using this one. And you talk to them about that. Say, when they've got to some things that they're not yet doing, got a lot of not yets and a couple of starting tos, then that might be too hard to adjust it a little bit. So you'll have to just get to know your writers to really determine what they can use. It's not, I just want you to understand it's not cut and dry. Just because you teach second grade doesn't mean that all your kids will be using the second grade checklist. That's your goal, but you might not be there right away. Okay, let's see. Be sure to differentiate that if you can. That's going to have really ease there. They're going to feel much more successful if they can go through that list and check off most of it and just kind of focus on those couple of items that they need to work on. Okay, so the whole point of a checklist is to revise your writing and to improve it. So you're going to praise kids for doing that when you see it happening. Let's say they take a checklist and they pick out something they want to work on. Just, personally, I would have students highlight what they're working on or star it so that when I'm walking around and the checklist will always be out with the students while they're writing, I can quickly walk by and I can see what each person is working on. If they've highlighted that item on their checklist, it makes it very easy for you to just quickly look and say, oh, you're working on elaboration. Show me where you've done that today. What part are you working on? I mean, it really speeds up your conferences if you know exactly what to pinpoint as an area that they're working on. So you can, go a little bit faster. Also, hold them accountable for actually working on it. We are going to talk about that next. And yes, the answer is yes, of course. Kay and I used to get so frustrated. We used to do this before we had this great curriculum. Cups, you know. Write cups in the corner, and you check off, did you check for capitalization? Did you read it through and check for usage? Did you check your punctuation, your spelling? And we did people check, 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 check. I am done. Here you go. You know? And so we're going to talk about what to do. That's exactly the next thing on our list here. Okay, so the nice thing about the checklist is it interprets those common core goals that common core standards that we talked about earlier, but in a kid-friendly way. How many of you have ever read a common core standard and shook your head and thought, what the heck does that mean? I have. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, what is that exactly and how do I teach it? So the nice thing about these is that they have used the Common Core, but it explains in our book here that they've taken it and interpreted it for children and, of course, teachers too. So I appreciate that actually quite a bit. So the checklists are intended to be a way to help students self-monitor and set the next goals for themselves. We're going to talk about how you teach the checklist in just a minute. So you're going to teach them what does starting to look like, what does it's a likely goal look like. If it's something they're just starting to do, then it's probably going to be a goal for them. Now, is every single starting to check going to be a goal? No, they're going to pick one. What I would suggest to you is you sit down together with a child and talk about, you can give your input and you obviously want to direct them or guide them into coming to the conclusion that you want them to come to. Have you ever done that? You're kind of like in there and you're talking to them and you're sort of like, I think it would be really good. You're giving your input, but you're also asking them, how we kind of talk through the things sometimes. But that you have to let them feel like they have a little bit of say also. Let's see.
Did she say illustrated ones?
Yeah, let's show them an illustrated one. Because it's cool that. Sure. So you can, even fourth grade ones, you can find illustrated. This is again great for SPED kids, because it helps them. If you go through it and kind of describe it, they might attach meaning to a picture instead of, having to read the wordiness of it. Instead, I love, and the kindergarten, first grade ones, second grade ones are great. A lot of times too, some of these icons will match what you have on your anchor charts. So when they see an icon like this, it's also on the anchor chart, then they can kind of get meaning from what you're wanting to work on. So, okay, also, the reason we want to have those checklists out when they're writing is because we want to be reminding them of what they should be doing as they're writing. That will decrease the amount of revisions at the end when they get to that revising and editing stage. Having this and going through it and reading it each day, reading it over, thinking about it before they start to write, should hopefully save them from going through numerous revisions later on. Hopefully, at least it will decrease the amount that they have. They're designed to be self-assessment and goal-setting guides. And then turning to page 184, we just looked at some up here, but you might want to turn to page 184 and look through and find your grade level for the narrative. So the narrative checklist, starting on page 184 with kindergarten. And you can see how this one might be for the first one, might be for a teacher to use, and you might choose to give your students the illustrated one on page 185. Okay?
and bullets, I think, is down in first or third. Okay, I'm not sure. I know it's early.
No third.
Okay. I'm thinking even down lower, they talk about bullets and the how-to, maybe, I'm not sure. But they actually can do that. The level of writing is going to go up. I mean, you're going to be surprised. But it's going to take a while for them to get there. You can't expect in the first year to be writing like this, these examples in here. But they did take student writing samples and put them in the book. She did say that. I know Joanne said it. Joanne went to Columbia University to hear Lucy, and she took middle school writing or fifth grade writing her first summer she went. And it's amazing what these kids are writing there. Of course, they've been doing it for a long time.
Well, you can see in the videos, some of the videos.
Yeah, you can see in the videos, right. So you might look at these student samples and go, no, kids can't do that. Oh my gosh, my kids are horrible. Well, just remember, it takes time to get there.
I'm just thinking of a fourth grade teacher at a lot of them. She's looping, so she did fourth grade and she did fifth grade. She's very skeptical about this. Oh, I know. She's very skeptical. The next year, so she had the kids in fourth grade and she had a kid in fifth grade. And she told me, I was really skeptical last year when I started this. She said this year, the kids' language, she said, when we're talking about persuasive argument and having claims and supporting their claims, she said, I cannot believe their language and how they're talking. She had taught them that in many lessons. Their culture in their classroom became like that. So I loved hearing that.
And it builds each year, so every year you get students coming into you with more and more background knowledge about those claims. And so it becomes easier and you take it to that next step. So I would also encourage you, there's a lot of times when you will want to use student samples to teach them how to use a checklist and how to think about their writing. So this book is full of student samples. They are grade level. However, if you feel like, we feel like the student samples in here are very lofty. They're very, what we would call exemplar texts for a grade level. So they are